everywhere you see around you now would have been covered in hops.
These huts, the hop pickers' huts, were built in 1935 for the sole purpose of accommodating people from different parts of London who used to come here just for the hop picking season in late August, early September.
I grew up in the East End of London, and the first time I went hop picking was when my mother was expecting me, and then I actually went when I was, 6 months old.
We are one family. We are going to give you family names for each group, so you need to remember, you're going to say them back to me. Okay. Saunders. Dutton. Sweeting.
You
can write Dutton on there if you want to. It's okay. So what was your family name? Sweeting, you are a lucky-looking family, and I won't ever work so again. Look at you.
The farmer used to supply the straw, and Mum would take down a big, thick bed tick and fill that with straw. Mama made it very comfortable for us.
Just inside the gate, at the bottom of this field, there's a trough there for the animals. And there was a standpipe there, and that's where we used to carry all the water from. The most common thing were 2-gallon enamel buckets. There was so much to do, but you never really planned anything. The day just went by steadily, and you just done different things all day.
It was freedom. It was trees and fields, and you could wander for miles without seeing anyone, and climb trees and play in the mud. You know, it was so different to London, especially the London that I knew because I grew up during the war.
Happy with this.
Deliver your firewood like you would have back in the day. Let me get over there first so you can give me a lift. And then you need to wash your hands,
I got this. It's a hard bed when it's cooked. And then
I'll show you.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
we are almost finished here. Everybody made themselves a sandwich?
Sandwiches, always fighting wasps away from your sandwiches. And I can't really remember much more in sandwiches for many years other than cheese. Rabbit stew, fresh caught rabbits, fresh vegetables, masses of thick gravy, absolutely delicious. Could live on it every day, really.
Are you in the
Vegetable line, so split into vegetable and rabbit.
vegetables?
A rabbit? It's really amazing.
Anyone else for vegetable soup?
Try a little bit like that.
Yeah. No onions.
You did a lot of veg chopping too, so you've really earned.
Go and sit down and eat your girls' right.
I have to.
That's rabbit stew.
Some people are like,
you can do it any way you like, okay? And then once you've let it dry for about 5 minutes, you can then come back and get one of these pens here, and you can start putting in the details of the outline to give it a more bold. Okay, you can start putting in the trees. I've got a little building, a little old house. Yeah.
Today's been an absolutely amazing experience for our kids. Lots of them have never had the chance to go outside London, certainly not on a coach and certainly not to the countryside. We can see by their massive smiles on their faces how much they're enjoying the freedom and just their first experience of exploring and being outdoors.
Everyone hold up your notebooks.
So we're hoping to do some writing when we get back to school, because they've written lots of notes in their notebooks that they're going to take home with them and use as a stimulus for some writing opportunities.
Our topic is World War II, so we are taking a journey back in time to what life would have been like in wartime Britain. I can't imagine a better way for them to picture the context than being here. They've tried it. So I think what we do when we get back to class is do some imaginative writing.
Day's been amazing. The children have been exposed to so much, things that they wouldn't normally see around our school. So it's been fantastic. I can't say anything negative about it at all. And everyone's been so accommodating as well, so it's brilliant.
We decided to bring a coach full of young children from South East Hackney out to this glorious place, which gave them the opportunity to do things they wouldn't otherwise be doing. So it's like, trying to find out what's this, what's that. So many questions being asked about, about the country and how the country works. And most importantly, this thing about history, because history plays a big part. And it's nothing like actually reliving history for you to get some real understanding of what history is about.
It's really nice seeing kids from the city come out into the countryside and just be a bit more in touch with nature and feel what it's like to be here and the difference it is to London, the difference it is to being in the city. The peacefulness that being in the countryside provides is, I think, really essential to a child's development.
They just become very much alive. You kind of see a spring in their step. It's also good to see them taking pride in cutting a veg, learning how to make their own bread and forks, and then actually eating their own food. They've had a wonderful sense of enjoyment and a good sense of pride and achievement.
This is my first time down here and it's an amazing setup, I have to say. I didn't know what to expect at all, but it's 30 kids from a school in Hackney down here and they are responding amazingly. We first get here and they just, they're a bit tentative and you can't quite tell whether they're going to get into it or whether they're going to just think, why are we in the middle of a field? But the content, they've just been captured by the whole idea of the place, and this place is quite unique really, for kids to come out here from inner city areas and experience, a sort of snapshot of history, but also the whole sort of area and how hop growing was so integral to this part of the country. The kids get so much out of it that they seem to be interested in everything and seem to be enjoying it. So it's so valuable. What have you enjoyed about today?
I learned more about nature and I'm out of London.
You're out of London, is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Do you get out of London often?
No, not really.
I enjoyed smelling and dressing up in the 1930s. Today was our first day and we won't ever get to see
Sharon! You're going to be filmed! I've learned the way the children live and their families. And I learned what hops smell like.
Yeah. Can you describe how they smell?
They smell like beer.
They do smell a bit like beer.
Very good fresh air.
And you're not bothered about the rain too much. You know how it would have felt like to live down here for a few weeks?
Yeah, but the thing I wouldn't enjoy is sleeping.
Why?
The bed's lumpy.
Superbly organised. There hasn't been an empty moment when the children weren't learning about history or plants and nature, or doing some artwork, or asking to observe their surroundings, to use literary language, and to find out, of course, about the history of hop pickers. And back in the classroom we will get an awful lot of writing, drama, discussion, endless activities out of the day. So I would recommend it highly to anyone that was had the opportunity to come to Hobbs Hill Farm.